Sura has been a good friend of mine for as long as I can remember, and I'm beyond delighted that he's able to be here today. So I'm pleased to introduce y'all to Sura Sohna. You want to say hello to everybody real quick? Unmute yourself. You're on mute.
Jim Hendricks, class of 63.
Oh, no, good, thank you. Sura, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, at least that the administration.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hey, everybody. My name is Sura Sohna, and I'm speaking from Patuxent Institution right now.
Awesome. That was great. Okay, so what I
Sura,
did.
Miss B.
Okay, we're gonna try to ask everybody to.
That was middle.
We're gonna try to ask everybody to stay muted today. We have a lot of people on the call. We're gonna talk with Sura afterwards so he knows everybody who is here today. And yeah, we would love to hear everyone speak. It's just with a lot of people, it's a little tough. So we're gonna get going right now. Allow me to share my screen and we will get started. Okay, Dylan, can you tell me if you can see this?
Got it.
Good, okay. Sura, can you just nod your head? I can see you. Can you see this? Good, okay. All right, so I titled my project, or our project, Telling the Stories of the Ignored and Forgotten. And, you know, we're here today to display our project to everyone. So for today's plan, there's gonna be 3 steps. The first step, I'm going to lay the groundwork and review my work from the semester so that people can understand what I've learned from all my research. Second, that should take about 30 minutes. Second, we're gonna do a one-on-one interview with Sura. This is gonna be me asking questions to Sura to help him to tell his story himself. And then the third part, we're going to do some interaction with the audience where we will allow people to ask questions to Sura and I or give their comments after everything they heard. So how did this come about? So this is an independent study project in Davidson's Communications Studies Department. So I reached out to Professor Bailey, who's on this call today, to guide me through this type of project. The original idea was to do this project telling the stories of the ignored and forgotten. The reason why I thought this was important in the beginning is because I realized early on, since being at Davidson, but even in high school, that there's many people's narratives who we are quick to overlook because of their status in society. I wanted to provide a platform to start to work against that, where we can tell stories of people who have been ignored for too long. Originally, the idea was to work with 6 people throughout the semester on a 2-week basis. We would work with one person for 2 weeks, learn about their story, tell their story in an essay format. Then after those 2 weeks, go to the next person and tell their story. We had an idea of different people we wanted to work with, but early on, after talking with Dr. Bailey, I realized that it would be difficult to tell 20 plus years of somebody's life in 2 weeks or in an essay format. So we looked at potential people to work with, and we decided that Sura would be an excellent candidate. Sura and I have been friends for a very long time. I know his family very well, so I had a good basis. I knew the way that Sura grew up since we grew up together. And yeah, he was the perfect candidate. We reached out to Sura and he was thankfully willing to join us in this effort. So there's 3 main goals of this project. First, our first purpose is to help Sura to feel heard and acknowledged. Sura is somebody who you will learn he's never had the opportunity to tell his story or to be acknowledged the way that he should as a human being. From an early age, his situation has been overlooked by many, and that is part of the reason why he's in the situation he's in today. Second, the goal is to open eyes to situations like these. Sura is not the only one in this type of situation, being 22 years old, incarcerated on a 14-year sentence. There's people who have it rougher than Sura, and he knows that because he sees them in his institution in Maryland. And we know people who, across the country, we see on the news, we see people in the community who are going through similar struggles as him. The third goal of this project is to help Sura to reform himself. When we started working with Sura back in January, as he will tell you later on, he was going through some pretty rough patches in his life. Through Professor Bailey and I, our effort was to uplift him, to help him to feel more motivated to work towards positivity in his life and not be down on himself. What did the work entail? This work involved consistent written and phone interviews with Sura. When you're working with somebody who is in prison under the guidelines of the Department of Corrections, it can be difficult to gather information or stories from them. So it was a long process. We did a combination of letters that went out maybe a couple times each week. And we also did phone calls 2 or 3 times each week to touch base with Sura, to ask him to explain more information that he wrote in his letters, or to ask him further questions about his upbringing. We also did close family interviews. So in order to ensure that the research we were gathering was valid and true, we needed to make sure that we were talking to people, all sides of the issue, all people who were involved. So we did just that. We talked to his close family members, we did interviews with them. And also to make sure that we were objective, we gained information from court cases. That this involved accessing available court records, so public records. That was objective. We also made sure that we contacted every single victim that could be recognized in public record to make sure that we were not only telling a biased side of the story. We didn't want to only be telling from people who are close to Sura and on his side. We wanted to make sure we were covering all the bases during this project. We also reached out to all investigating and arresting officers who we could find in public record. And we were also fortunate enough to have the opportunity to interview the prosecutor of Sura's cases in court. So I wanted to offer some perspective real quick. So this is an example of some of the things that we were doing. I made sure to take a photo to document letters I was getting and sending out to show everyone the type of work that we were doing. So I would be in the post office maybe a couple times a week. And fortunately, I was able to make some pretty good friends there throughout the process. Here's some more perspective of some letters that were being sent. In the middle panel, you can see 13 letters right there that were sent out. 12 of those are to his victims, all victims who could be identified. And one of those is to the ACLU in Maryland, because we believe that there was some things that they could help with in sewer situations, specifically conditions under COVID in prison. Here's some more perspective. On the right, you can see some examples of what Sura would send me. I would receive these, like I said, at least once a week, and this would help to guide us through this project. Recently, we reached out to the governor of Maryland, Governor Larry Hogan, and this was because we'd been hoping since January to guarantee that Sura would be on this Zoom call today. Now, as you all may think, getting an inmate to join a 90-minute Zoom call with the public is a difficult request to fulfill. So we were hitting some roadblocks, and ultimately, after hearing some suggestions from some people who were close in politics, I decided to reach out to the governor of Maryland, who responded to us within a couple of days to grant Sura permission to be a part of this. We are very thankful for that. I'm not sure if any of his staff he is on the call today, but we are very appreciative for that. So before we get into Sura, I want to lay some groundwork to help people to understand some systemic issues that are related to Sura's current circumstances, okay? First, I'd like to talk about the school to prison pipeline, which I think was significant in his trajectory. All of these statistics right here are specific to Maryland, as I wanted to focus closely on what he is impacted by, okay? So I'll read through these with you. Although Black students made up 35% of Maryland student population, they made up for 60% of out-of-school suspensions from 2011 to 2015. during the 2015 school year, Black students contributed to about 35% of the Maryland public school population, but represented 66% of school-related arrests. In 2018, 80% of inmates in Maryland juvenile correctional facilities were Black, 80%. Sura was one of these. Since 2008, the test scores of Black boys have been the lowest in Maryland, while their suspension rates have been consistently the highest. So it's very clear right here that there is a systemic issue that's not being addressed. And this is not only representative of Maryland. I mean, these statistics are specific to Maryland, but based on some research I've conducted, I feel confident in arguing that these statistics are consistent throughout the United States. One stat that really hits home for situations like this is the incarceration rate, the difference between Black boys and white boys. According to a report that the United Nations did in 2018, for Black boys born in 2001, 1 out of 3 of them can expect to go to prison once in their lifetime, as compared to 1 in 17 white boys born in 2001 can expect to go to prison. You look at the pie chart, you can look at the numbers, 1 in 3, 1 in 17, but then also look at the pie chart. There's a stark difference here that, again, is not being addressed. These are showing systemic issues that are leading to circumstances like Sura's. Now, I know there are many people on the call today from Annapolis, so many of us are familiar, but there's also many people from Davidson and other parts of the country. So to give some perspective, when people think of Annapolis, they think of a historical capital, a beautiful capital, a beautiful city between Washington, D.C. and Baltimore, Maryland. We are the sailing capital of the world. We're also home to the United States Naval Academy. These are things that people in Annapolis and people outside of Annapolis, such as tourists, perceive when they think of, when they visit Annapolis. But as you will see later today, there are 2 realities that not even all people in the city fully understand. This is not the reality of luxury that Sura, this is not the luxurious reality that Sura was able to grow up with. Instead, there's the analogy of crabs in a bucket. I like this photo because these are Maryland blue crabs in a bushel. It's a bushel of crabs. Those who've been to Maryland, they know that we are known for great crabs, crab cake, seafood in general, but specifically Maryland blue crabs. Sura made a great analogy one time in one of our interviews, and that was for his situation, he always viewed himself as a crab in a bucket. What does that mean? It means that for those who have been crabbing, they know when they have crabs in the bucket, none of them will leave. For those who haven't been, if you put many crabs like this in a bucket, you don't have to worry at all about a crab getting out. Maybe if it's stacked too high like this, it can, but that's very rare. You don't have to worry about the crab pinching you or getting out or whatever. Sura views himself as being a crab in that bucket, a difficult situation that's almost impossible to get out of because people will pull you down if you start to get to the top. That's exactly what happens with crabs. Now, Sura and I first met ourselves at Hillsmere Elementary School in Annapolis, Maryland. This is when Sura moved to the district that I was living in 2010. This is our first class photo together. As you can see, I'm towards the bottom left of the class photo. Sura's towards the bottom right. I'm actually right next to one of Sura's brothers who's on the call today, Chris, to the left of me. And as you can see, Sura is over off to the side. This is a picture of Hillsmere Elementary School. We both feeded into Annapolis Middle School together. That was our district middle school. Please excuse these photos. People say it's cute. Please no screenshots. I don't know. You know, I'm fortunate that we were able to glow up and you know, progress from those looks. But yeah, I just wanted to give some perspective on Sura and I and our situation. As you can see, we're in PE class right here, having a good time. I don't remember what we're talking about, but that was good. Robin Wood. This is where Sura grew up. Sura moved to Robinwood in 2010. And when I talk about a crab in a bucket, this is the neighborhood or the circumstance that Sura was living in. Okay, these are 4 panels of Robinwood. In the top right panel, you can see an example of a complex in Robinwood. Sura didn't live in that exact one, but it looked very similar. They replicate each other in the community. Okay, as you can see in the 3 other photos, these are some headlines in the news where there have been deadly shootings in this community on a regular basis. If you look at the top left photo and the bottom right photo, you can see that those 2 events were only 20 days apart from each other. A 23-year-old getting killed and a 17-year-old getting killed. Okay, with the 17-year-old getting killed, her name was Kaimisi. She was the same age as Sura and I, went to school with us, killed at 17 in this community. Okay, that was devastating. But after that, it's become, unfortunately, more regular for people our age to die in this community. It's a difficult community to grow up in. This is what Sura had to deal with when he was coming up. He will talk a little bit later about that experience. I want to display here a fork in the road. And that's why I put the line down the middle separating the 2 panels. As I was showing earlier, Sura and I went to school together, elementary and middle school. High school was when our paths split, okay? I was awarded a full academic scholarship to Indian Creek School through their STARS program. For those who are from Annapolis, they know that Indian Creek is an expensive, top school in the city of Annapolis, or even in the county, Anne Arundel County, Maryland. Sura followed the theater system into Annapolis High School, but he was unable to complete his education there. While I was at Indian Creek, I served as student government president. I was able to start a nonprofit when I was 16 years old. I competed on 2 varsity sports teams, soccer and baseball. And during that entire time, I was becoming a top candidate for college. As compared to Sura, at the same time, he was being charged as an adult at 17 years old for 25 counts that we will get into a little bit later. At 17 years old, he had also already spent time at the Anne Arundel County Jail. This is not a juvenile facility. This is an adult jail. He was 17 years old. Sura was smaller than most people. I don't know his exact size at the time when he went in there, but I know for a fact that he was less than 130 pounds. This is mugshot right here, 25 counts. He was indicted by a grand jury at 17 years old. He was eventually switched to serve a sentence at Cheltenham Youth Jail, which is in Prince George's County, Maryland. And that was before he also went back to the general population with the adults at Anne Arundel County Jail. We'll get into this a little bit later. Today, the fork in the road continued. I'm now at Davidson College. As you all know, this is a Davidson program. Sura is at Patuxent Institution, a prison in Jessup, Maryland, okay? Now, I came to Davidson as a Belk Scholar. I got a full academic scholarship, majoring in philosophy and pre-medicine. And I'm now serving my 2nd term as student body president here at Davidson, okay? Sura is serving a 14-year sentence. He was a prison inmate, not a jail inmate, a prison inmate in the Department of Corrections before his 21st birthday. This is where the fork of the road continues to go in different directions. As you can see on the bottom right, this is a photo. It's a copy of Sura's prison ID. Some research findings. I'll go over with you some things that I noticed during the research I was conducting, and hopefully that will set a good scene or a good foundation for us to understand where Sura is coming from when he has the opportunity to speak, okay? Now, again, I want to say that when I was conducting my research, I was making sure to get the most truthful information as possible. And that came, in order to do that, that meant that I had to validate some things. So everything I'm presenting here is true, based on at least 2 people's word of an event happening, okay? Sura was born on February 12th, 1999 in Prince George's County, Maryland. He grew up with his mother, Rita, and 3 siblings, some of whom are on the call today. His mother's here today as well. Miss Rita lost her job in 2004 when Sura was 5 years old. And when she lost her job, they were actually homeless for almost a year at 5 years old. After getting out of the homeless shelter, they had unstable housing in PG County, Prince George's County, Maryland, before moving to Annapolis in 2007. When I say unstable, I mean that they were bouncing between properties and homes and living with different people during those 2 or 3 years. Sura's family settled in Robinwood, the community that I just showed a little bit earlier, in 2010. And that is when we were able to meet, because he was moved into the same district that I was in schooling. In Robinwood, being broke or seeming weak, when I say being broke, I mean being obviously poor or seeming weak, physically and mentally, are two of the worst things that you can ask for in that community. Sura will elaborate on that a little bit later. But by showing that you don't have any money, or that you're not willing to stand up for yourself physically or mentally or verbally, you could be asking for trouble and danger in that community in Robinwood. This is a generational struggle. When Miss Rita, Sura's mom, was 14 years old, her mother died from a lack of proper treatment. She was left to struggle on her own. Her father was not in the picture. Her mother was basically, what she had living in Washington, D.C. With Miss Rita, she was an honor roll student at the time when her mother was in her life. And ever since that death, it made it harder for her to continue that type of success. And she ended up dropping out of school and did not graduate from high school. And drugs seemed like the only escape. So what I'm trying to show here is a generational struggle. This is not something that's starting with Sura. It's starting early on. We think that the lack of proper treatment could have involved racism or just not having access because of the color of your skin to proper treatment. When Sura was in elementary school, he was diagnosed with ADHD and bipolar disorder. He had difficulty focusing in the classroom, and he developed insomnia as a child. My prediction, after hearing the circumstances, it seems that insomnia or some of these other difficulties that Sura was facing could have been caused by stress. I wouldn't rule that out, but I'm also not an expert in that field. It's just something that I would suppose. School was difficult for Sura. He was teased for being obviously poor. His brother Chris and himself went to school wearing a cycle of clothes. And after that cycle completed and started to repeat itself, people began to understand Sura as not having adequate clothing and being obviously poor. And he was teased and bullied as a result, treated poorly. You can only imagine the type of impact that that would have on him. Another thing that Sura was learning from a young age is it's obvious that he was taught to steal by older folks in the area. This has been confirmed by multiple sources. Sura was a smaller build, so people would get him to go through windows or go up to houses when committing burglaries, because people would see him as a child and would have no fear of letting him do whatever he tried to convince people that he was doing. I wanted to offer a little timeline right here of some significant events in Sura's life. At 11 years old, Sura watched a man die from being shot in Robinwood. He will elaborate on all these things later, but one thing that I'd like to point out is that when he stole a bike at 12 years old from Hunt Meadow, that was his first time arrested. It seemed like whenever he got caught committing a crime, it seemed like the police or first responders were quicker to get there than they were when a man was dying on the street in his community. He watched a man die at 11 years old. At 12 years old, he stole a bike from Hunt Meadow. This is his first time ever arrested. At 13, he watched his older brother get abused by the police on the street in Robinwood. He can talk about this also a little bit later. And he felt helpless. He went to get his mother. She felt helpless. Nobody could do anything because if Sura stepped in, he thought the same thing would happen to him. At 14 years old, Sura got robbed and beaten for his phone. And this is when he started smoking marijuana. We will elaborate on this a little bit later as well. At 15 years old, he started Percocet and he started to develop a life or death mentality. He just didn't care anymore. He was in survival mode. He didn't care if he died. Just terrible. One thing I'd like to say about when Sura started marijuana, he was walking back from the recreation center in Robinwood, walking back to his home, and he took a longer route than usual and crossed the back strip in Robinwood. That's how it's known. one of the most dangerous parts in the community. There's some older guys back there smoking some blunts and tell Sura, they tell Sura that he should do it because they want to use him as entertainment. They want to see him get high and laugh at him or whatever. Sura says, no, I don't want to, I'm not going to do it. The guy forces the blunt in his hand. He said, Sura, you're going to take a puff right now. I'm going to punch you in the chest as hard as I can. Sura tried to fake an inhale, and the guy punched him in the chest and Sura flew to the ground. So Sura got up. The guy said, you can try again. You're going to smoke this blunt right now. He smoked it and, started feeling effects right away, started getting paranoid and anxiety. And the guy told Sura to do it again, or he'd punch him again. And Sura, that was his first time smoking. That was his experience. You can imagine how he would get to a point where he would develop a life or death mentality. In 2016, Sura was 17 years old. He broke into an Annapolis home and stole some property, and he was indicted by a grand jury in Anne Arundel County, Maryland, charged with burglary in the first degree, theft for less than $1,000, illegal possession of a firearm, wearing, carrying, or transporting a handgun on person, illegal possession of ammunition, possession of a firearm being under 21, and possession of a stolen firearm. This was his grand jury indictment. In addition to the indictment, he was charged by the state for a string of 6 burglaries in Annapolis. The result, he was charged as an adult. As I was saying earlier, when you get charged as an adult, your information is public at the time, and you go to the adult jail usually. So that's when I was in high school, we were both in high school. He was spending time at the Jennifer Road Detention Center in Annapolis, Maryland, which is an adult facility. He spent about 18 months incarcerated. He ended up splitting time between Cheltenham Youth Detention Center, juvenile detention, and Jennifer Road, which is the adult jail in Annapolis, Maryland. Sura returned home in 2018 and he got a job at a nearby grocery store. He ended up quitting because the pay that he was getting there was much less than he could have been getting by doing easier work, even though it could have been criminal. And he still found himself surrounded by the same influences when he got out of jail that time. And there was also the importance of him upholding a certain reputation. When he came home from jail, he can't show that he was scared in jail or that he didn't like it or that he's scared of going back. If people say to him, if he goes back to his home and is around the same guys and they say, Sura, we're gonna go burglarize this house, Sura can't say no. People will say that's peer pressure, but there's real danger that comes by rejecting that type of idea. In 2018, Sura was 19 years old and was charged for an Annapolis burglary, and he was charged for stealing some credit cards and using them for purchases. The result, he was placed on house arrest. He violated the terms and he was charged with escape, and a warrant was issued for his arrest. He went on the run for a couple months while committing another string of burglaries, auto theft, illegal credit card use, and within all of that, he was charged for a false statement to a police officer. The result right now is that he was sentenced to 14 years on the burglary charge. The state decided not to prosecute on the other ones. He spent time in Jennifer Road Detention Center, Ordnance Road Detention Center, Jennifer Road again, which are all just jails in Annapolis while you're waiting for court. When it was determined that he'd be going to prison, he went to the Department of Corrections Reception Center in Baltimore before being placed into the Tucson Institution in Jessup, Maryland. Dehumanization. At 12 years old, Sura was told that he should spend the rest of his life in jail. At 13 years old, he watched his older brother get abused by the police. The police kicked, manhandled, and pulled guns on him as a juvenile, on Sura, okay? Let me elaborate on the 13 years old event real quick. Sura's older brother was in a car sleeping, and the police pulled up, yanked him out of the car. The word is there may be 6 or 7 officers dealing with him, had his legs and arms folded in all different types of way. And in the end, charges were never carried out. So the question is, why was this necessary? Why was it necessary? You can only imagine what it would be like being 13 years old watching your brother go through that. a frequent occurrence in Robinwood, according to Sura and some other folks, was that police will pull up in vehicles and jump out real quick and run at the people who are standing on the street. And what they would do is they would want people standing on the street to run because they'd be able to use that as probable cause for something. So police would do this. Recently, maybe within the past couple of years, a person in authority suggested that Sura had a future flipping burgers. Person brought Sura into a room and said, I'm not going to go into the details because I don't want to, and we can talk later if people want to hear, but Sura was told that he would be flipping burgers for this person in authority when this guy gets off from work later in life. So why crime? Well, it seems that Sura got into a situation he's in. This is my analysis from community influences, as I was saying earlier. He had a desire for things he couldn't access, like a bicycle or having clothes that would make him look more presentable when he went to school or walking around in the community. He developed a life or death mentality, and at that point, you just don't really care. And he was in survival mode, meaning that he was going to get what he needed one way or another. Now, I would be ignoring a significant piece if I didn't cover COVID-19 in prison. This is a blueprint of Sura's cell right now. Sura got this to me a couple weeks ago. I'll let you all look at it real quick. As you can see, it's very tight, and you got to remember that there's another individual in here when Sura's in there. COVID-19 in prison for Sura. In the beginning, it was difficult for him to access resources to be safe. And at the height of the pandemic, Sura was spending up to 23 hours in the cell with 15-minute phone call, actually 23 and a half hours in the cell with a possibility of a 15-minute phone call and a 15-minute shower, or 30-minute phone call or 30-minute shower. No visitors are allowed. That's still the case right now. Programs were delayed, and Sura was having a mentally difficult time. Sura's progress, he studies and works. So he is working on his GED right now. He also works in the kitchen at the prison, and he was just able to get back to that recently. He was accepted into Patuxent's youth program, which is what the prosecutor and the defense wanted for Sura. That's why they wanted him to be placed at Patuxent Institution in Jessup. And he's doing a lot of individual and reflection and studying for his future, and he has a changed mindset. The future for Sura includes college, going into photography, theater, or cinema, or something of the like, and giving back by helping people to understand the mistakes that he made in life. And for me, my future is law school. That's something that I want to do next year. And Sura and I will stay in touch throughout the entire process. Here's some contact information if you want to talk to me or talk to Sura about, some more. If people are interested in helping Sura in any kind of way, they can reach out to me in this way, and we will get that taken care of. Okay, so that is it for what I had to share. I know that took a while, but I really wanted to lay the foundation. And I am more than delighted. I'm very excited to allow Sura to tell his story and to help him to do that. So, Sura, are you ready? What do you think?
I'm ready.
Okay, good.
It's amazing, bro.
Good. Do you want to give a quick reaction to that presentation?
Everything that you said was right. And, it was difficult growing up, and I had good times growing up, but I had a lot of more difficult times growing up, and it was tough.
Okay. Well, look, I'm going to ask you some questions to guide this conversation. We're going to break it up into some parts so we can sort of touch on all bases. We'll do this up to 3 o'clock, and then we'll offer the opportunity for some other people to get involved. Is that okay with you?
That's great.
Great. Before I get into this, I want people to acknowledge that this whole project has been difficult, emotionally difficult for Sura and I. There's a lot of trauma that Sura went through growing up. Reliving these types of experiences can be difficult. And we also have to acknowledge that he's in a very difficult situation right now. This Zoom call is great, but right after this, he's going back to the cell. So it's difficult. We need to acknowledge that, okay? But without further ado, Sura, if you could just walk me through your childhood, can you tell me why you think your trajectory was much different from mine? Why am I in college and why didn't you follow the similar route?
I hated my situation so much that I told myself that I'm never going to need for anything ever again, even if I had to rob for it. That was very selfish of me and very cowardly of me. And to say something like that and to go about life like that in that way. And I impacted the world in a negative way. And by choosing to run with that perspective, that made me, I seen my mother need, I seen my little brother need, I seen my whole family need. And that's what triggered me into criminal activity.
Okay, okay. Can you tell me why school was difficult for you? Why was it challenging? Just tell me.
It was challenging because the situation that I was in, it felt like when I went to school, I felt like, how am I going to survive another day in the jungle, like basically in my neighborhood? And I just felt like it's either I have to become one of them or I'm gonna be eaten. So it was like a eat or be eaten environment. It was just like an environment like here. And it's like I took it the wrong way. And like school was my last priority. Like I just felt like in my school days, I didn't feel like if I wanted to live, I didn't care if I lived or died, because I'm being manipulated into to committing violence or I'm used to do certain things. And I just felt like my body was there, but my soul was gone. And I just, yeah, and it's just like I didn't care about my life or the people that was around me. And it got worse in high school. When high school came, it got worse. I just was tired of like a whole bunch of stuff, my neighborhood and what people had to say to me in school. And like the main reason I stopped was because my neighborhood was just so much chaos going on. And I just wanted to survive another day.
Tell me about this crabs in a bucket analogy. We've talked about that before. This is something that you introduced to me. What does crabs in a bucket mean, and what did it mean in Robinwood?
By growing up down Robinwood, like the terms of like crabs in the bucket is like if someone see you doing good, they're gonna ruin it for you. Like so, if I have something or like growing up, I used to go to my dad's house a lot, and my dad would spoil me with certain things. And I would come back, and people just would be jealous of you because your parent might have more than their parent, or they didn't have a dad. And that bothers some people. And it's like when they see that, they get envy, and they get envy of the smallest things. And like if they see you with something, they talk behind your back, or they just gonna try their best to ruin it for you. And it's like it's nothing but miserable. Like you might see down there, you might ride past down Robinwood, and you might see a gang of not gang, but you might see a group of people, and you might think that they all cool with each other, but that's not the case. They all really hate each other. It's like it goes through phases. That's how life goes. And especially like in the streets, it's like everything goes through a phase. You never know what that person might be doing the next phase. You never know if that person might get killed the next phase. You never know if that person gonna get set up by his friend the next phase. And it goes on like that, bro. Yeah. So
I hear you, man.
like it's all nothing but miserable down there. So it's just everybody not who they portrayed to be.
Okay, can you tell me about that first experience when you got arrested at 12 years old? Walk me through the entire thing. We know that you stole the bike. Went to the community, stole the bike. Walk me from the point that the police came to your house and arrested you. Walk me through that.
I had got a knock on the door. I had just came in the house too. And I heard when someone knocked on the door, I heard they said Annapolis Police Department. I thought in my head, what I do now? What I do now? So I look around the house and I see that I had the bike in there. And I just threw the bike out back. And I opened the door, and the officer says, "Why you took so long to answer the phone, to answer the door?" I was like, I lied to him. I just brushed him off and was like, oh no, I was talking to somebody, or I was just in the bathroom. He said, "Your parents here?" I said, "Yes, my mom's here." My mom come downstairs. He's arguing with my mom. He's saying all type of disrespectful things to her. And So he told me, you better not be lying to me. So he left. I watched him go around back. And I watched him walk around back. I'm talking to my mom while I see him walk around back. I said, Mom, he's going around back. He's gonna see that bike. And he actually went around back and he seen the bike and he took it around front, knocked on the door and said, why you lie to me? He grabbed me up, pushed my hands behind my back and like hurting me, like kind of pushed my hand behind my back and put me in the handcuffs. He said, lying don't get you nowhere with me. Put me in the car. I thought he was gonna take me to the station. But what he did was he took me to the neighborhood where I had got the bike from. And once I got there, I'm in the back of the car and he comes around, he goes to where I actually took the bike. It's like a little pool complex. And he took me right there. And then the lady was like, so he did it? He said, yeah, the one who did it. She didn't even know I was in the back of the car. He said, yeah, the one who did it, he's right there in the car right there. She looked in there and she seen me. She was like, you should lock him up for life. He said, can you put him in jail for life? And me being young, I was scared. I said, oh, put me in jail for life. And the officer was like, he only stole a bike, but I will do that if that was the choice. So I felt like you just can't give like the police or the court system or the justice system, you just can't give them a reason because I feel like prison, jail is for everybody. Just don't give them a reason to take your freedom or anything away from you because they will do it. And they will do it with no remorse. And I don't know why, but with no remorse, they will do it. And I felt very lonely that day. And I just felt like I felt hurt in the inside. And I just felt different about the police ever since that day. That really impacted me. So.
Now, let me add on to that. So this is something that we discovered during our research, that this happened with Sura. This is something that only he knew. His mother didn't know, his brother, nobody knew this, that the police took him when he was 12 years old to the other community, okay? The police did that without talking to the mother. She took Sura at 12 years old to another community in handcuffs instead of taking him directly to the precinct and processing him. This is something that his mother never knew about, okay? Now, why? We know that you committed the crimes that you did, okay? What's your reflection on that? What would you say to the victims if you had a chance to?
I would say that what I did was very selfish of me and ignorant. And I would serve every day of this sentence if I have to for them guys to get justice. And no one shouldn't have to go through that ever. And like, I know it's violating and very fearful. And I know what I did, it can impact them in the wrong way. And that's how victims become the victimizers. And it was negative what I did. And I just, that's why I'm here today, just to impact the world in a good way. Just with people sitting on their couch on a Zoom call.
Okay. Now, do you think if you would have had more support opportunities and resources that this all could have been avoided?
Yes, I really think that, because if I had like more programs in the neighborhood, like our neighborhood, we didn't really have a lot of programs. Like, and it was nothing but like the rec center and just like field trips. And that was like our getaway. And like, we still would have to worry about the bad things when we get back. It's just like when I leave the Zoom call, how I'm coming right back on the tip. It felt like that, like I'm going right back into chaos. And like, yeah, so like if I had like more support on the programs and opportunities for somebody to be in my corner and really help me and show me that education and knowledge was the way, then life would have still been rough for me, but I would have made it past school instead of making it to prison.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
okay. Sorry, go ahead.
And yeah, I wouldn't have made it. I wouldn't have made it to prison. And it just, if I had like a more opportunity wise, like someone like, yeah, like just showing me the ropes. Yeah.
Why should people on the Zoom call and people in public have hope in you? Why should we have hope that you will return to society and do the right thing?
Because I want to say I have a well thought out plan that's to doing better for myself and to become my own justice, as far as pushing every day to make my 1% better. And I'm trying that in here, and I'm going to try that when I get home so I can make it easier for myself when I get home. And I came up with different type of work techniques, like in different for life situations on the outside. Like it's things I don't want to do in here that I do only because I want to push myself for the future. And it's a lot of things that I changed about myself when no one's around, just to prepare myself for that, for life situations in life when I come home.
Now
And
there's a quote that Sura and I have been talking about for the last few months. It's really meant a lot to me, and I found out that it's really meant a lot to Sura along the way. You want to talk about that?
yeah, it was a quote that Brandon showed me from Muhammad Ali, and it said that if your dreams don't scare you, then they're not big enough. And I felt like my dreams scared me every time I thought like, oh, my intentions is too high, like, oh, my goals is too high. And they not too high. It's exactly what I want to settle for and exactly what I want. And I felt like that quote really pushed me. So, and I'm locked in all day. So I felt like that quote right there, I said, okay, now this is normal. This is normal to be afraid of it. I felt like some people just wasn't afraid. That's what they're going to do. But like, I feel like sometimes you're afraid because you know that you're going to do what you're going to do. So that quote got me focused.
Okay, now you've been alluding to the future a lot. Can you tell folks what you see for your future, what you want that to be?
Professional, getting into, I want to become verified in film productions and have my own photography business. And just taking care of my mom, taking care of my brother, taking care of my whole family. And like, that's what I want for my future. So to be strong in life and just help everyone so I can end up helping people helping other people in unfortunate situations like I am myself. So once I get where I want, and I'm still doing it here, like far as helping people in the process of me helping myself, and I didn't even help myself yet. Yeah.
I know that you've wanted to do film and theater and photography for a long time.
Yeah.
Ever since I met Sura, this is something that he's been saying. Everybody who knows Sura knows that he's been saying this. Why is it?
That's my passion. I love it. I always love films, cameras. I always love that. Always acting. I took theater arts in high school. I love it. Love it.
Let's see. I just want to be wise with the questions that we talk about within the last 7 minutes. What steps are you taking right now to achieve those goals that you've set for yourself for your future? What are you doing?
I'm studying film productions while I'm in here, books. I'm studying photography, if I can know each and individual camera, if I can know the lenses. So I'm getting down to every little thing. So once I get home and when I go to school for it, I will know what that is. I will know what this is. I will know what that is. So I'm preparing for it like that. And I'm doing other things like trying to order books for literacy and speech etiquette so I can learn the proper English. So I'm working on that now, and I study the dictionary. And it's like, that's all the things I do here. I study everything I want to do here so I can make it easier for myself home by taking baby steps, because I really can't do much because it just feel like it's a lot. It just feel like I can't do nothing. But I'm taking steps, like I'm trying. And sometimes I feel like I'm not trying enough. Like say if I was telling Brandon, like say if the CEO couldn't let me out for the law library or for the library. And I feel like just because they don't let you out doesn't mean that you can't go. So I feel like I'm not trying hard enough. So I'm hard on myself so I can accomplish all my goals.
Do you want to tell people about our next steps following this presentation?
Yes. I plan to get college credits in here and my GED, and by the time I do get home, I'll be focused for the future of college.
Well, something that we want and we're going to try to work on after this is a sentence modification. Okay.
Oh yeah.
You want to?
Yeah, I'm working on that too. That's like one of my priorities, but I am just focused on like my goals. Just everything, finish it here first. Then I am going to file for my modification, but I'm going to make sure I get something very great out of this.
Good. Okay. And one thing I want you to be able to say is that, you know, the governor's been tied in on this. He knows about you. He knows about this project. He knows what we're doing. He mentioned that he wants to be supportive of you and he wants Maryland to be supportive of you. What's that thing that you want them to be able to offer you?
I want them to offer me when I come back in the community, like I know it's going to be tougher. I know it's going to be tougher for me because I have a felony and I'm used to being brushed off because I have a felony. I went to certain jobs and they told me, oh no, we don't hire felons. It's dead. But I want them to help me as far as when I do go to college, can they help me getting like into Morgan or Bowie and like so they can recommend that for me. And that'll be great when I fill out the college application. Good.
Well, I'm going to conclude our segment right here because I think that was really good. Before we move on to the audience being involved, I'd just like to thank everyone who's helped us to get to this point. I really appreciate all the support we've had. Any last words from you, Sura?
Yeah, I felt like when I had got this 15-year sentence, I felt like the world was over. I just felt like my life was over. I didn't want to do anything with my life. I would sit and sleep the whole 24 hours out the day for weeks. And then I told myself, why are you making this more hard on yourself than what it is? And then I told myself, instead of this, you looking at this to be the darkness of your life, look at this to be the light of your life. So ever since I've been here, I've just been focused and determined and dedicated to just change and better and trying to live a civilized life when I get home.
Good.
You
Okay.
know, I came up with one thing, right? I came up and I was asking myself, what does it mean to be in society? I asked myself all that over and over and over again, because I know you guys are gonna ask me that question. And I was just thinking, I came up with the solution that it's power over your future and having guaranteed opportunities already, and to be liberated of all pressure. Yeah.
Sounds good. So the way we want to do this is ask people to raise their hand because we have a lot of people on the call. So if you want to ask a question or comment after this, we have about 30 minutes to do so. So in order to have some organization, people could just raise their hand, that would be good. I know the first question was Miss Liz. So that's something we talked about before. She wanted to ask you a question.
Your mom?
Yeah.
All right. So I click on the hand.
No.
Miss Foster.
Yeah. I think Dylan can
Miss
you unmute or
Who would you like to choose first? Just any of them?
Orly and Liz Reed. There we go.
So, Sura, I wanted to thank you for being so candid and honest with us. I'm a little bit speechless. You really hit me in my heart. I'm just so proud of you. I see a sparkle in your eye. and I see that you're going to go somewhere big. But my question for you is, we're all sitting here just so moved, and you have parents and teachers and college students and all kinds of different people in different roles that are asking themselves, what can they do to help? What should they do if they see someone similar in your situation in their community or school?
You said for my situation.
So she's asking, like, if people come across a kid like you in Robinwood, for example, how could they help them?
I put it like this, like it's a lot of kids like that
Hey, Sura, there's a little buzz. Did something happen to the microphone over there? Is your counselor there or somebody?
Yeah, he's right here. He plugged up a charger.
Oh, okay. Is it in the way of the microphone? You're off mute now. I mean, you're on mute.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you. It'll work. It'll work.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry for that. But I feel like the kids that's down there, they are willing to learn because they're still young and they're not too far gone. And I feel like to help them is to someone come at them with a different approach, like a different change. Because it was people that was down there that did come down, but it was hypocrites. Like it was people that would come down there and tell us things. And I remember we had 2 mentors. One of them robbed a bank the next week after he told us not to do anything bad. And we felt like he was a hypocrite. We always joking about that. And there was another guy, he was just getting high. And I feel like to help them is for someone young to come and talk to them. Because I feel like older people, they really don't want to hear it. They go one ear and out the other. I feel like you have someone young that know their situation and that are one of them and that loves them, then it will be a great change.
Okay. There's a follow-up question, I think. Gotta unmute.
For me?
No. Dylan, can they unmute again?
Miss Foster, you can go.
Or I think my mom, I think she didn't. Did you? No? Okay. Miss Foster?
So I have some very specific memories of Sura that I'd like to share with everybody, and just remind Sura. I was at Annapolis Middle School, and Brandon, I don't know if you remember me either, but I remember you. My son Andrew was in your class at AMS and up through. I'm at Annapolis High School now, and I had the privilege of teaching Sura, and I now have a better idea of why Sura was the way he was in class when I taught him in high school. He was tired, his head was down, he didn't have a lot of ambition. My most recent memory of Sura is probably the hardest, and I was on a tour of Jennifer Road Detention Center with another group of people from AACPS. And as we walked through, Sura was shaking his head. He was in a room, and we, with the glass separated us, but we locked eyes. He saw me, he said, "Hi, Miss Foster." And it was probably one of the hardest moments of my life, because the best memory I have of Sura is when he was in 6th grade and I was at Annapolis Middle School. I helped him with his science fair project. And he was very intent, very focused on what he wanted to do. He wanted to build a trebuchet. And he knew everything there was about trebuchets. He knew it was different than a catapult, that it was a type of a catapult. And so we were going to build a tabletop model of a trebuchet and launch things and measure things and do all of that. And I had an opportunity through a Boy Scout troop that had built a life-size trebuchet that was bigger than Sura, who's not very big, but it was pretty tall. And I made arrangements to have it brought to the backfield at Annapolis Middle School. Sura didn't know. I just said, "Hey, you're going to come outside with me." And we walked outside. His eyes got this big, and just the awe and the wonder of this. And we launched all kinds of stuff. that afternoon. We just launched stuff, changed different things, did a science fair project. But Sura, that's what I remember. Anytime that I've seen you, whether it was in biology class or at Jennifer Road, I remember Sura with that awe and that wonder that just was excited about things. I'm getting chills now talking about it. So you got to keep doing what you're doing and keep that positive attitude, because you're gonna make a difference for yourself and you're gonna make a difference for the world.
Good,
Thank you.
good. Ms. Howard, Barbara Howard. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mom. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Sarah had told you that I was tough, and I want him to understand why that was. Sir, do you remember that?
Me?
Sarah?
No, no, I don't remember that, Mr. Willie.
During the interview, you were saying that he was always tough on you, and then now you want to sit in the room with him and listen to everything he says.
Oh, yeah, he was like that. He was very strict. Yeah, you was very strict, Mr. Willie. But it was only for
But
the
you know
better.
what?
Now I realize it's only for the better.
Okay.
Okay, Ms. Howard, Barbara Howard.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, first I want to thank Sarah for sharing the story and for you, Brandon, for delving into the project. I think it shows a lot of courage on both your parts, and I really appreciate the perspective we're getting here. Survival mode must have been very difficult to compete with in terms of who should you listen to. And so my question was, who could you actually trust growing up, and who do you feel you can trust now?
But like all the people that was around me, that's not here for me now, and that claim they was there for me, they wasn't. And like, it was very hard to trust people because you never know what their intentions are. You never know. Some people might come and ask you a question just for a reason. They might try to set you up, or they might trying to get something out of you. You never know. It was scary. So it was hard to trust people. And the people that I trust now was all the people that was on my side the whole time. And I knew it while I was home. And I just felt like, nah, like, no. But like, now I realize the people that was really there for me was all the positive people that was in my life.
Good, good. Caleb Lewis.
Really.
Hello, everyone. My name is Matthew Lewis. My brother Caleb, he had to leave a little earlier. I just want to say I'm really just proud of this whole project. Brandon, as a young Black man, it's really someone to look up to in my life, you know, trying to better myself as well. I've known Sura pretty much all my life. And I don't know if you guys really know him personally, but he's just hilarious, funny dude. And I know that I truly full-heartedly believe in him and his goals. And I know that his character, his charisma can definitely get him to where he wants to be in life if he just stays focused. And yeah, I've just always known Sura is just a good person, and I'm just really proud of everything that's going on. That's all I wanted to say. And I know my brother would have said something similar if he had the chance. And I love you, Sura. That's all I wanted to say.
You too, bro.
Spearman.
Hey, sir.
Hey, how you?
It's Mr. Jimmy. I don't know if you remember me or not, but I was with you with Brandon for Coalition for Success when it first started. You used to come out there and meet us at the library, and you wanted to be an actor and all that. I just want to let you know we already working on getting you home. Well, I got my man Josh Hatch on here with Freedom Fighters. We're going to get you out of jail. We're going to get you set up. We're going to try to get you right. And you're going to have, you know, Brandon's got my number, and he's going to have Josh's number. And so, you know, we're going to try to get you out of there sooner rather than later. So keep your head up and know we're waiting for you. All right.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
No problem. Oh, I also need the name of that officer that did that to you, because I want to open an investigation on that. He violated your civil rights. That's not that. He violated all sorts of protocol. He violated all sorts of general orders and SOPs. I need that.
I think the officer, he got.
Sir.
No, don't not over the platform.
No.
Brandon.
I'll
Get to
let him
Brandon.
know. I'll let him know
Yeah.
afterwards. I'll let him
Yeah.
know afterwards.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yeah. Mr. Hatch.
Thank you for this opportunity. Brandon, Sura, thank you for sharing this with the world. Sura, me and you are a lot alike. You don't know that though, but real quick, in less than 60 seconds, let me tell you how. Because where you're sitting there right now, not too long ago, I came from that very facility. Now I'm sitting in the office in Annapolis. The reason why I'm sitting in the office in Annapolis is because just like you, I was dedicated to becoming a better person. You see, the reality is this: people make mistakes, especially when you're young. But God didn't put a period on your life. He preserved you. So anything that you went through in life is just a comma in the sentence. You continue to progress, you continue to get better. Let me tell you something else that a lot of people didn't tell you when you was growing up: that you're smart, you're brave, you have what it takes to be successful. Nobody can take that away from you. Not the crabs that are in the barrel, not your cellmate, not an officer on a beat. You have what it takes to be successful. How do I know? Because I was told some of the very same things that you're told. Now people across the state of Maryland contact me, an ex-offender, someone who did almost 10 years in prison, for help. You can do exactly what it is you're seeking to achieve. You can do it. And guess what? I'm going to help you.
Thank you. You're a perfect role model, man. Perfect role model.
Profesora. This is my Spanish professor from Davidson.
Thank you so much, Brandon, for just giving me, and and Sura for sharing this. I'm gonna meet you one day. You are on my list, Sura, because you have inspired me tremendously. And I'm gonna tell you just this: you are growing through what you're going through every single day. And remember, sometimes things break, but there is this art, Japanese art called kintsugi, which is you put things together with gold, and then you will become a marvelous, unique piece that is just you and your life. You're building it, keep all those pieces, and every time you just go one more day and you're just the best, you're honoring the beautiful person that you are. So keep up with it, because I promise I'm gonna stay with Brandon later, and if there is in any way that I can be of support, you have inspired me tremendously. So thank you so very much for sharing your story. I am just humbled, so thank you so much.
Thank you for being here.
Great. Katie?
Oh, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Katie DeValet. I'm a Davidson parent. And I have to thank both of you and your advisor, whose name I'm forgetting, in Davidson College, for letting you pursue such an important project that I wish so many other people would see, because the naysayers will say, oh, this doesn't exist. But when you hear first person accounts from these two young men who knew each other as kids and whose paths diverged, it's an illustration of what is really happening. And people don't get that. So I have to thank you all for this incredibly moving presentation. Sorry. So my question goes to the part of education. So Sura was living in Robin Hood. You both attended the same middle school. So different neighborhoods were feeding into this middle school, correct?
That's
So
correct.
how, and then high school, I'm assuming, assembled a bunch of different middle schools into one high school. I don't know how big the high school was, but at the point of middle school, how did you all know this next step was looking for higher education? So how did that opportunity present itself, and how can other families learn about these educational opportunities that are out there and can be taken advantage of, but they don't necessarily have the means or the knowledge to get that scholarship to the private school that you did.
Sura, you mind if I start on that?
Yeah, go ahead.
So for me, I have parents, I have many family members who have been to college, cousins, you know, people who have had the opportunity to go far in education. So for me, that was not really a question. Rather, it was something that was expected. And being expected, I had the support, the opportunities, and I always had the resources to do that. Maybe I didn't have as much as I'd like, but I had enough to do it. And when middle school came, and it was in the middle school, it was kind of, you know, I guess like one thing that we say is that if you're walking down the right path and you're willing to keep walking, eventually you'll get somewhere. That's something that I was doing in middle school because I had those opportunities. And eventually what came out of that was a scholarship to one of the top schools in the county, which was a very different experience from what Sura had to experience in Annapolis High School. I had smaller classes, the teachers in my corner. Over 90% of the kids that graduated from my high school went to college. I don't know if it's the same for Annapolis High School. And yeah, it was there for me. It wasn't there for Sura. And you know, that's why things are the way they are today. Do you want to expand on that, Sura?
You talking about as far as like the opportunities in like the public school and the private school?
Yeah.
It's just it's two different environments. I feel like in two different lifestyles from the schools, because the school that I went to, like Annapolis High School, I felt like none of the teachers were like really wanted to help me how they should have. I wrote that down, like how they didn't put in much of the effort, but some of them did. Like some of them actually wanted to help me. Like Miss Foster, for instance, like she would really be on me. Like she really tried to help me to the point that if I didn't really do my homework, she would help write some of it down to help me get the concept of it. And she really wasn't supposed to, but she really helped me. And it just, some teachers just, they see me like, he don't want to help himself. We not gonna help him. So that's how I felt. That's how I feel about that.
Delilah?
Yeah, hi, Sarah. I'm one of Brandon's close friends at Davidson, and I just wanted to say that I was really happy to hear how much you believe in yourself, because hearing you speak, I can hear that you're like a very, very intelligent person. You're someone who, and I don't want to be rude or something, but a lot of Davidson students aren't as well spoken as you are. And you could be in Brandon's spot right now and you wouldn't be one step out of place. Like you don't deserve what life has given you. But the fact that you believe in yourself so much makes me really happy, because you deserve to believe in yourself, and you deserve people who believe in you and will help you get to where you want to be. So thank you for talking to us.
You're amazing. Thank you for being here too.
Caroline? You need to unmute yourself.
Thought I hadn't, sorry.
Yeah.
So very powerful story, and clearly you are someone who's really committed to using your time while you're incarcerated. I've worked in a program, unfortunately, I don't think it's at Patuxent, but it's at MCIJ, called Houses of Healing. You may have heard of it. The book is by Robin Kasarjan, and it may be in the Patuxent Library there at the prison. And it's all about personal empowerment and helping people to stay positive and to believe in themselves. And it's something that you can do the course on your own. We have a class, but at MCIJ, but reading it on your own might give you another little lift. So, but you're on the right track, and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we'll take Tony's question, and then, yeah, we'll take Tony's question. Tony?
I
Eric,
think,
Eric, do you want to go ahead?
oh, there you go, there you go.
Yes, sir.
We
We can't hear him.
We'll go Eric and then Tony.
All right,
I was getting on mute. Go ahead, Eric.
Can you hear me, sir?
yeah.
Great job today, man. I've been fighting back tears this entire time. This is why it is so necessary for people to hear stories like yours, to see stories like yours, because it's so easy to lose touch. We live in a time where we're in the social media age where people lose interest in 15 seconds. And to sit here for only an hour and to hear you talk about how your life went down a separate path than Brandon's and how it's so fragile, how 1 or 2 or 3 encounters with the wrong people can send you on a trajectory that you're just in a different spot than where you could be and where you deserve to be. And I've been thoroughly inspired by you. I'm sorry, I'm at a loss for words, but I will keep you in my prayers. I will do everything I can to help you. Know you have people in your corner, and stay positive. Keep your spirits high. This doesn't have to be the end of your story, like the other guy said. Don't let this be the end of it. You have so much that you can accomplish in life, and I very much so look forward to watching the film and at the end seeing your name scroll up on the credits. I really want to see that. So good job today, man, and I look forward to speaking to you again.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Tony? Sura knows Brother Tony.
Yeah, he's like a dad to me.
Yeah. He's just getting unmuted real quick. Still can't hear you. Look, while you figure that out, let's go to Mr. Schmidt. Mr. Schmidt?
Okay, I think I'm unmuted.
Yep.
Don't know how to put my picture up there. I tried that today.
Hey,
First of
Sura,
all,
Sura, real quick. Mr. Schmidt was a math teacher at Annapolis Middle. I don't know if you remember.
I have to see his face. Remember him.
I'm just old, don't worry about it. I can no way I can get my face up there. I have no idea. First of all, sir, I remember you because I remember the smile. I'll never forget that smile. I always thought of you as mischievous but fun when you were in school. And you were always a pleasure in my book. Brandon, you never cease to amaze me of what you do. You excelled as a student, not just in the classroom, but in and out, which I was proud of. Sir, this is a person who I know you know well. He will guide you. You are going to make it, I can just tell, because you have exuded such a self-confidence in this whole thing that you said to everyone here, I've had enough. I know what I did. I know what I have to do if I want to go down the path that I want to go in. And I wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you.
Mr. Tony, are you good now? Let's go to Miss Melson. Hey, Miss Melson.
Hello, Brandon. Sir, I had the pleasure of working with Brandon when he attended Indian Creek High School, helped him with his college search, and I would be honored to work with you. When you are ready to look for colleges, we can collaborate to take that next step in your journey. I have been crying for the past hour and honored and humbled to meet you and know you have 12 or 13 screens full of people on the Zoom who will be praying for you and are here to help you through our connection with Brandon and now to you. Brandon, thank you for this amazing project and for the gift of this story, and looking forward to staying in touch with both of you and probably many other people in this Zoom. Your future is bright and you'll be at the top of my prayer list, Sura, and I look forward to working with you.
Thank you very much.
Good. Mr. Tony, and then Julia Paul, that'll be our last question because we need to honor the agreement we made with the state. Mr. Tony? Ms. Paul? Mr. Tony, you can type in the chat if what you want to say and I can read it if that's that's the option. Ms. Paul?
Thank you, both of you. Sura, I'm crying like just about everybody else. My question to you, Sura, is I'm in the middle of designing a program for students that are in your same situation. What are top 3 things in your mind, if you had a mentor, could have been helpful to you to stay the right path so that I can design that into my plan?
Someone help me meet myself halfway with my goals. If someone meet me halfway with my goals and just help me help myself, because I really want to help myself more than anything, and I'm ready to meet the requirements to helping myself. So if like someone can, not just opportunities, just help me and guide me the right way that I want to go without getting off track. And I could say that, yeah, just more opportunity on programs so I can help someone else, because I feel like if I help someone else, even if it's one person, I felt like I did my job throughout the day, and that's what gets me by. So I just want to feel someone's energy that's the same way. So we both can strengthen each other.
Thank you so much.
So
I really appreciate it.
Mr. Tony said in the chat, he said, for some reason, I'm unable to unmute. I just want to let Sura know that I'm proud of him, I love him, and I'm praying for him. So that's something you can know. He's looking at you right now, Sura. Good.
All right.
Good. Okay. Now, Mr. Shostak, I know you want to say something real quick. Are you on, Mr. Shostak?
Mute. All right, I'm unmuted. Wow. Just very quickly, I'm Sura's attorney that's going to be handling his reconsideration hearing, and I hope to be doing that this year. He's in Patuxent right now at a youth offender program. That's where the court designated him at this point in time. But the reason why I wanted Brandon to patch me in real quick is, number one, very heartfelt program you have here. I can see the passion and what you're doing, and it's great. Please continue. I'm going to post to everybody my email address. If people want to email me, send me letters on his behalf that I can attach for any reconsideration that I'm going to file, I would gladly appreciate it. I don't care if it's hundreds, so long as the judge gets the understanding of what Sura has behind him as a supporting staff, that if he's released, these are all the individuals that are in his life. It'll be very meaningful for the reconsideration hearing that we plan to have hopefully as soon as possible. I plan to file it within a month or two, depending upon COVID. Maybe we'll get a hearing date, end of summer, early fall. But I just wanted Brandon to patch me in real quick just so I can introduce myself. And I will put an email right now to the Zoom group chat. Please email me. Please send me any paperwork, any letters you have on his behalf. I'd be glad to see it, and I'll also respond back in kind and talk to you guys if you guys need any more information. Obviously, I have an attorney-client privilege with Sura, but I would be more than happy to speak with anybody as far as any kind of character reference letters or anything that will be helpful for him on his reconsideration hearing. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. Sura?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, there's just one last thing I'd like to say. I meant to touch on during the presentation, and that is the difficulty that has been since working on this project and being close with Sura at a place like Davidson, okay? Now, this is one reason why Professor Bailey has been a great mentor for me during the process, because Professor Bailey knows how it feels at Davidson. To have a loved one and to have a friend who's in prison. That's not something that's very common here at Davidson, especially with my role, being in student government, being the student body president. People usually think, oh, he fits in, he feels good about himself and how he's moving at Davidson. People all love him, and that's true. But I will say that the way that the community goes and the fact that many people just aren't able to relate to myself in situations like Sura makes it extremely difficult, especially during this past year, to be able to work on a project like this. And I really appreciate Professor Bailey for guiding me through this and all the folks who have been in my circle to make me know that this type of work is appreciated. So thank you all very much. I would ask right now that I think we're going to end the presentation just to honor the agreement that we made with the institution. If we could just ask for everybody who is on before the call to stay on with Sura, just so we can, you know, say goodbye before this ends, that would be good. Thank you to everyone. My email is BR, the first two letters of my first name, Harris, my last name, @davidson.edu. You can reach out to anybody at Davidson and we'll get in touch, and we can get you in touch with Sura as well if you're interested. So thank you all so much for being here today. Thank you.
I want to say one more thing to everyone too.
Okay.
I want to say thank you guys for relating to this and capitalizing from all this, from my decisions and you guys' personal life decisions. And it's amazing how everyone came together because we can't interact with each other on and face to face. So the world came together with this Zoom call, and it's just the whole all you guys are amazing. The whole world.
Great. Great. Well, look, people who are on before, if y'all could just stay, that would be good. Thank you so much. Sura, you stay on, and everybody else who was here before. Dylan, you stay too. Yeah.
I'm in the process of writing a self-help book. So I have this thing, it's called Powerful Thoughts. I write that on my book. I put it for short, PT. So it's like, it's not like a everyday thing I do. It's just like slowly but surely I'm reading self-help books so I can write my own self-help book. And I got like 12 chapters to it so far. And I'm getting there. I'm almost finished with it.
Good.
Motivation.
Good, good. Again, if we're gonna conclude this right now. People who weren't here in the beginning could just sign off, because we're gonna try to allow people close to Sura to have some comments before he goes. Sura, is your counselor there or somebody?
Yes, he's here.
Good. Just let him know that we're just gonna allow people to, you know, we're saying goodbye. That's it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to move people, Brandon, but it's like a one-by-one process right now.
Yeah,
so
yeah, I know. You're good.
taking
You're
a
good.
little bit.
I'm gonna try to help you a little bit, Dylan. Okay. Okay, good. Is somebody else? Good. That was excellent, Sura. You need to be proud of yourself. And I'm serious. That was good.
Thank you, bro.
That was good.
I feel like I ain't do nothing yet, but I'm going to do more. I'm just ready for whatever life throws at me. I'm ready for it.
Does anybody want to say anything?
I'm sure for myself, man.
Miss Rita, anybody want to say anything?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I just want to say I'm so proud of you. You did great.
Thank
You're
you.
so great.
Thank you, Mom.
And I
Dylan,
love you.
Love you too.
They said they can't unmute.
They should now.
Hey, I just want to say I'm proud of you, bro. And you know I love you. You know I'm always here for you. And yeah, just keep up the good work and just stay on the prayers too.
Alrighty, bro. Love you too.
Just to stay strong, man. Just stay strong. Yes.
Thank you.
Great start today, man.
Hey,
Great.
That the little book you sent, that really pushed me like to finish what I wanted to do as far as this project right here.
Good.
I even wrote Brandon and told him how good I like it. That was one of the best things I read as far as like the Frederick Douglass book. That's probably like the second thing I read that was the greatest thing I ever read because I related
Man, good.
so much.
Good, man. Good, man. Stay strong. Stay strong. Keep pushing.
Gotcha.
Sura,
Yeah.
you know, you can get my number from Brandon if you ever want to talk.
Okay.
I'm available.
I'm gonna take
You
you up on
understand
that.
that?
I'm gonna take you up on that.
You can. I'm telling you, take me up, and we're gonna do everything we can to enable you to meet your goals. That's the way it is.
All right. Thank you.
And I can't wait to give you, your mom, and Chris all a hug. That's what I'm waiting for, all three of you.
I'll be home
I'm
soon.
about to say,
Yeah.
Go ahead real quick.
Sura, I don't know if you remember me, but I'm Brandon's grandma. Okay. I want you to know you're in my prayers, you and your family.
Thank you.
Okay. You're gonna make it.
Thank you. Who's next?
Hey, Sura, it's me again. I know I spoke earlier. Amazing job today, man. It's very inspirational. People need to hear your story, man. And you did a great job today. For it to be your first time, or from what Brennan has told me, this is your first time. Hopefully it's not your last. Your story could be instrumental in making changes in the way society works. So you have a lot of people in your corner. Stay strong, and be ready to work that camera, man. Because whenever you can get that camera in your hands, now you can be in control of the story that you're telling. It won't be some prosecuting attorney that's trying to make you out to be somebody that you're not. You can tell your own story. And so I wouldn't kid, and I really look forward to seeing you create a film and change the way people think about people that look like you and who look like me. You can do that, man. And
Thank you.
I think you need to.
Hey, thank you. You guys are like my y'all was here right before everybody came. Y'all like my starting 12 right here, man. Like y'all really like helped me, motivated me to get out what I wanted to get out. I wanted to speak for myself and speak for everyone in this situation so they can speak through me. I've been getting everyone advice. I just been sitting down and listening to people. And yeah, that's how I came up with a lot of things like to speak about, because there's a lot of more people that just like me.
Hey, Sue, we're proud of you, man. And you did fantastic. And I'm just so proud for you and Brandon's work you all put together. You did fantastic. I just want to leave you with this one acronym me and Brandon say each other all the time. We're stressed out about school or down. It's DYOP, DOP, define your own path. Because I know you in the spot you're in right now. And I can't imagine how tough it is, but you define your own path. Your future's in your hands. No matter what, no one can take that from you. Define your own path. and I'm blessed. I'm praying for you, and I just can't wait to see what life has for you.
Thank you. I like that. Define your own path.
Remember that.
I mean, make your own character. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Sura, I don't want to hold you up too long, but do you know how many people you spoke to?
I was trying to scroll through everything. It looked like it was hundreds of people. 100. 300. That's why I kept going.
People, we had to turn people away.
Yeah. Dylan was doing it. Dylan saw how many people he was having to turn away.
Waiting room was full the whole time. More people popping in left and right. All wanted to hear your story, man.
That's great, man. All the people that spoke, they said all the right things. Loved it. I want to do this again, like home, so I can impact the world in a better way, in the best way I can.
And Sura,
It makes me feel better about myself. I felt like this institution made me sit down to realize and find myself. This is only the beginning.
hey, Sura, real quick, let me, I want to show you something else real quick. Because I remember you never got a chance to see it. These articles. We were in, the project was in Baltimore newspaper this morning, and Annapolis newspaper, and Davidson as well last week. And you never got a chance to see it. I just wanted to tell you a story of life.
There you are.
I read it to you. You remember?
Yeah, you have read that to me.
Yeah.
You sent it to me too?
I didn't, not yet. I just haven't gotten a chance, but I will.
Okay.
Just want to show you what it looked like. And then we're gonna find a way to get the paper to you. This was on the front page this morning.
Wow.
Front page of the paper.
Amazing.
So,
Yeah, I got a paper for you.
Okay. That's great.
Well, look, man. You keep doing what you're doing, man. I think a lot is gonna come out of this. We just have to wait and see.
You all right?
Yep.
I'm just waiting too. I'm patient.
Good.
No, everything is a waiting process.
Good.
Okay. We better.
We recorded this too, so we'll have it.
See.
I
said I see.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank everybody for having me though. Thank you, because usually I felt like this, I wouldn't be able to do something like this. This is just a great step forward, because it's kind of hard to make a step forward, and like this is a big step. And I didn't know how serious and big this was until I got here to do it.
It's big, man. It's big.
This was good. This helped me learn some things, and like the world is really, there's a lot of good people out there, and I felt like everybody was against me, or everybody wasn't good out there, but there's a lot of great people out there. I like all of these comments and sat through and looked at them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bro. We got the same shirt on. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice, man. You look good.
Yeah, somebody told me, no, take it off. You don't want to wear that. Wear this. Wear your Under Armour shirt. I said no, because they wanted me to wear this at first. They were telling me I had to put this on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got to go on your visits with this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Took it off though.
Good. You got a nice shirt on.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Made sure I looked nice. You should have seen me. I was in the mirror telling myself, I said, you are dedicated. You are a boss. I was telling myself right before I came down here. Yeah.
Hey, man, the way that you're feeling right now, don't let anybody take that from you, man. Don't let it die.
I won't.
Die.
I pray every day that God keep me with a successful mind until the day that I'm no longer here, and that He keeps me with a dedicated mindset, and till the day I'm gone. So I'll make sure that won't go away ever.
Good, good. And is your counselor in there?
Yeah, he's right here.
Bring him on. Hey, man, we really appreciate it. We really do.
Thank you.
Yep,
Thank you so much.
Yep. He did a great job.
Yeah, he the one that helped me with like everything. If I need paperwork or anything from case manager, it's like a whole bunch of different case managers. He's a good one. I heard about him. He's a good case manager.
Good, good.
Yeah, but I didn't know it was 300 people in here. Wow, I just kept scrolling through. I said, let me see how much. And I just kept pushing the button. I seen so many people. It looked like I seen some familiar faces, like I went to school. Miss Speed was even here. That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow, Miss Speed was even here. Miss Foster was here. That was great. I can't believe Miss Speed was here. That's major, bro. That's epic. Cause I didn't see Miss Speed in a minute, but I never forgot about her. Cause I remember how stern she was when I was in school. I remember she would always stay on me. And I never forgot about her, but Miss Speed, I was happy to see her.
I'm sure she was happy to see you too, man.
Yep, I seen her. She was like, yeah, this is Miss Speed. I said, oh man.
Good. Well, look, man, you know, like I said, I don't want to hold you because I don't want to go, I want to respect the commitment we made.
Yeah.
But we'll talk later, man.
All right.
Talk later. Dylan, can you end the recording so we can get that saved?